Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. This YouTube channel is dedicated to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. In this video, I would like to show you how to cook a Chinese vegetable known as Gai Lan. It has become increasingly popular in this country, mainly because it tastes very much like broccoli. In fact, another name for Gai Lan is Chinese broccoli. And now when you look at Gai Lan, of course it looks very different from the traditional broccoli, but the stem of the Gai Lan is almost exactly the same of the traditional broccoli. And if you like broccoli stem, you would definitely love Gai Lan. When Gai Lan is cooked properly, it has that crisp texture that makes it very desirable to eat. Normally, one of the common way to eat Gai Lan is to boil them in water and then serve them with oyster sauce. And of course, you can stir fry them as well. And I discovered that is probably the best way to cook them. And I discovered that I can use my basic vegetable stir fry template to cook the Gai Lan, and they turn out to be excellent. On top of that, I can cook them with different kinds of vegetables as well as different types of meat. For example, I used the Gai Lan to cook this dish with Chinese sausages and yellow squash. Here I cook another Gai Lan dish with salmon together with several different kinds of vegetables including mushroom and sweet bell pepper. Here is another example. I cooked this Gai Lan dish with several different kinds of vegetables, but I have chicken in this dish. So you can see the Gai Lan is a very versatile vegetables. And when I use template-based cooking, I don't need a recipe. I can substitute with different ingredients depending on what I have available on hand. Here is about 2 pounds of Gai Lan that I purchased at an Asian grocery store in Chicago, Chinatown. They cost about $2.50 a pound. But now you can purchase in many supermarkets, particularly in bigger cities. They are a little bit more expensive, but demand is increasing, and I'm sure the price will get lower. Preparing the Gai Lan actually is quite easy. You just want to cut them into about bite size. You will include the leaves as well as everything else that you see that comes with the Gai Lan, so there is really nothing goes to waste. For the stem, I cut them diagonally into thin slices. This will facilitate their cooking. After I cut them, I put them into a large bowl of water to wash them. I drain all the water and allow them to air dry for about 30 minutes before I store them away in plastic containers. This will be enough for me to cook 3 to 4 different dishes. By prepping them like this, you will greatly extend their shelf life. Usually, I can store them in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. Okay, let's now go into the kitchen. I'm going to show you how I cook this stir-fried dish with other vegetables and chicken together with the Gai Lan that I have prepped here. I'm going to cook this dish in my Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok. After I heat up the wok, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of canola oil. I'm going to season the wok with my spot seasoning method by heating up the oil until it starts to smoke very gently. I then turn down the heat and let it to smoke for another 10 to 15 seconds, and this is the time when the wok is being seasoned. I do this every time before I cook. This will guarantee that I will have a non-stick cook surface. And you can take a look at this video to learn more about this spot seasoning method. I'm going to first cook the chicken using a method called shallow frying. you can take a look at this video on more details of how this method works. When I use this method, I basically use the wok as a small frying pan. After I add the chicken to the wok, I layer them out in a single layer. And by first coating the chicken with cornstarch, I will create a thin breading on the surface of the chicken. I will first fry the chicken on one side, and then I turn them over to fry them on the other side. This method has many advantages, and the first is that the chicken definitely tastes better, and you can also add different seasonings to flavor the chicken as well. And also by coating the chicken with cornstarch, it will be protected to have a moist and tender center. Another very important advantage is that they cook very quickly because you have cut them into small pieces. They usually can be cooked in about 30 to 45 seconds. And if you want to brown the chicken a little bit more, then you can fry them longer. And when you turn the chicken over, you can tell that they have browned very well, and in some cases they are slightly charred, and that gives it wonderful flavor. This not only makes the chicken has a crispy texture, but it also makes them taste they have been grilled. And after fry the chicken for another 30 to 40 seconds, it is done, and I want to set them aside. So this is a basic template for shallow frying the chicken, and you can use templates to cook chickens to fit many different dishes, like what we are going to do now. Since we are continue to cook this dish, we have no need to wash the wok. I add another 1 tablespoon of canola oil to the wok. Next, I add 4 cups of Gai Lan that I have prepped in advance. Like any leafy vegetables, the Gai Lan has lots of leaves, so it took up a lot of space. And now this might seem to be a lot of Gai Lan, but don't worry, it is going to be cooked down very rapidly. To accommodate this much of Gai Lan in the beginning, you need a very good sized wok. This is the reason why a 14-inch wok is much better than, say, a 12-inch wok. And you notice that I use a pair of long-handled tongs to turn the Gai Lan in the wok. It's a much more efficient way to stir-fry the Gai Lan than to use a wok spatula. As you can see here, like any vegetables with a lot of leaves, they cook down very rapidly. And they also generate fluid during the process. So in time, what you end up is that you steam the Gai Lan. This method turned out to be really excellent because you can control the texture of the Gai Lan. Obviously, as you can tell, the leaf is going to cook down very rapidly. So what is going to be of major concern is the stem. And by cutting them diagonally into thin slices, it will make them cook faster. And now personally, I like the stem to be crunchy rather than to be too soft. But as you can see here, stir frying is a dynamic process. You are constantly in control how much you want to cook the food. And next, I'm going to switch to my wok spatula to stir fry the Gai Lan. And the amount of time you want to stir fry it depends on how soft you want them to be. I add about 2 cups of white mushroom. I add them later because I only want to cook them lightly. And this will only take about 30 to 45 seconds. I'm going to season the dish with some oyster sauce, which goes very well with Gai Lan. You can season the dish in many different ways, and right now the ingredients give the dish some excellent flavor. Finally, I'm going to add about 1 cup of bell pepper. I want them to be only very lightly cooked. And then I add the chicken that I cooked previously to the wok and mix everything together. And after doing a quick taste test, I decided I'm going to add another tablespoon of oyster sauce. I call this flavor chasing because it is very important that you constantly taste your dish and make adjustments as you cook. So okay, now the dish is done and the total cook time is a little bit over 10 minutes. So as you can see here, cooking this dish represents the essence of template-based cooking because I use the template for shallow fry the chicken. And then I use the basic template for cooking vegetables. These shallow fry templates work very well with shrimp, so you could easily substitute chicken with shrimp. And the basic vegetable template is the same for almost most of the vegetables that I cook. So I could have substituted the Gai Lan with cauliflower or with broccoli. Similarly, you can substitute the mushroom as well as the bell pepper. In fact, this template is so versatile. You can substitute Gai Lan, say with baby bok choy, or with Napa cabbage, and a whole host of Asian vegetables that you can try out. And there are so many different vegetables that you can try out. You continue to explore the limitations of this template. In fact, your imagination will be your only limitation. And my fast cooking system is designed for you to exercise your creativity. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. And if you want to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.